November is behind us, and this means only one thing, and that is that we're doing a monthly theater recap video where I'm going to talk about every single show that I have seen within the month of November, and I will share my impressions and recommendations with you. If you're a subscriber on my channel, then you know that I have seen my favorite show of the year in November, and that is Paddington the Musical. I haven't been the same since, and this musical has so profoundly impacted me and reminded me how much theater can touch me that I still pretty much cry every time I see Paddington the Bear. The story of Paddington the Bear was written in 1950s by Michael Bond, and ever since, Paddington lives in everyone's heart because of his kindness, his view of the world, and just gentle way that he goes about London and meets people and gets into trouble. And this story has been part of many books, movie features, but this is the first time that it is on stage in a musical form. And this musical has come up with a fantastic solution which was in the works for a few years, where there are two actors who are playing Paddington. One actor is Artie Shaw, who is on the stage and she's in the costume of the bear, and the actor off stage, James Hamid, who is giving Paddington facial features and the voice, because this is an animatronic, so he's able to really correspond to how Paddington is feeling and what he's saying. And the union between these two actors on and off stage, it is incredible to witness. It's unlike anything that I've seen because you truly can feel Paddington's presence on stage, and it is so magical. Another fantastic thing about this musical is music written by Tom Fletcher from the band McFly. He has really outdone himself in terms of music and lyrics because they're both beautiful and kind, but also whimsical and fun and engaging. There's some fantastic villain songs such as Pretty Little Dead Things, and then you have beautiful songs such as The Explorer and the Bear, One of Us, that just gently hold you and make you cry because of how beautiful everything that you're seeing is. There's also another fantastic song called The Rhythm of London, which is truly encapsulating the feeling of being a Londoner and what London really represents, because this is ultimately a love letter to London and Londoners. And it's another reason why seeing this at the Savoy Theatre in the heart of London in the West End and having such a beautiful story delivered about this city is something that will truly make this a timeless masterpiece. Because Paddington just opened at the end of 2025, tickets are very much sold out or very expensive, but it's already extended until October 2026, and honestly I think this musical is going to stay in London for a long time, so if you're looking for a deal, then it's best to book the tickets for the later half of 2026, where you can find some good deals and you're not too fussy of seeing it straight away. This musical is so beautiful and I cannot recommend it enough, so please go check it out if you get a chance, because you definitely won't regret it. The second show that I have seen in November was a PR invite by Brixton House to see Limp, Wrist and the Iron Fist. This is a playwright debut by Emmanuel Aquafo, who is an established actor who has been nominated for many awards, including Olivier Award. But this time he's using his personal experiences to bring a really powerful story to life. It's a story about four friends who meet at the bus stop so they can go to London and experience their night out. But while they're waiting for the bus, they start conversations about their sexuality, their relationship with faith, the experiences that have formed them, and how they're feeling about being Black queer men. And all of this really forms a powerful narrative where we get to understand each of these characters and understand their background stories and how in their friendship dynamic sometimes they trigger each other and what it means to be a Black queer man in London at the time. The play is very energetic and gripping, and from the moment you meet these characters you want to know their story. They're very engaging, which is very much due to a fantastic cast and these four actors who truly seem like they're best friends in real life as well. Not only that, but this play is really cleverly using light design to evoke different emotions and really make you connect to characters depending on what mood they're in and what story they're sharing and how they relate to each other. There's some fantastic choreographies as well that these characters are delivering, and plenty of humor. Ultimately, this is a serious watch, but at the same time there is so much of that lightness that just comes with life being life and needing to figure things out as you go. And the best thing about it is having people who are there to support you and to understand you, and I think that that really comes through in this show. It's all about camaraderie and also asking difficult questions to your friends and letting them express themselves and letting them become who they are while you're safeguarding the space that they are doing that in, because they're your friend. Unfortunately, this show is closing at the end of November, but given that this is its second sold out run, I am sure that there will be a new opportunity to see it, but we will need to be patient and wait for the next run to be confirmed. The third show that I went to see in November is The Weir with about Brendan Gleeson. This is one of those Harold Pinter shows where a ticket was really hard to come by, or at least affordable ticket. I was lucky to beg a ticket for £20 and I was standing at the Royal Circle, and luckily it was an under 2-hour show, so I was able to cope just fine with that. This is not the first time that this show is in London, but it is the first time that the playwright is also directing it. And the coolest thing about it is that Brendan Gleeson is making his West End debut as part of this cast. And what a play to be part of. This is not a typical West End show where you have crazy set design and a lot of movement and a lot of action. This is literally a play about telling stories. The premise of this story by Connor McPherson is very simple. 4 friends, 1 stranger, they meet at the pub and they start getting to know each other by telling stories. And the dynamic of this show is truly in the nuance, and that is where Brendan Gleeson is perfectly cast in this role, because it really feels like you sat at the pub with him and you're listening to him telling the story of his life. And this is what I really liked about this show, because it really helps you tune into storytelling side of things and connect you with a very human need, and that is to tell the stories and listen to them. It almost felt like back in the old days when you didn't have any form of entertainment or technology, and the most accessible way to entertain each other was to tell these stories. As part of the narrative, there is also something really painful that has happened to one of the characters, and this realization probes the rest of the characters to reflect on their own life and share their own struggles. And some of the key themes of this play are related to loneliness and grief and coming to terms with letting go of things in your life and how regrets might shape who you become. And all of this makes the Weir a pretty mature watch. I really enjoyed the craft that everyone on stage has showed, especially Brendan Gleeson. It was fantastic seeing him in his debut role, and he was great. It truly felt like witnessing something special on stage, and I'm really glad that I managed to get cheap tickets for this show. The 4th show that I went to see in November was a PR invite to check out the latest production of Shakespeare's Othello. And as you can see by this very red program, this is a pretty bloody and gory show. And another thing that you can see on this program is that some fantastic cast members are in it, such as David Harewood, Toby Jones, and Caitlin Fitzgerald, who are playing the lead roles in this pretty established tragedy. If you're not familiar with this Shakespeare's tragedy, this is a story about jealousy, manipulation, betrayal, and at the center of it all is Iago, played by Toby Jones. He's truly the heartbeat of this show, and its sinister behavior and things that he's doing to harm Othello, which in the case and direction of the show is done in such a blasé way, almost gives Iago an unexpected edge of being a very down-to-earth character, but at the same time the biggest evil. The show is very dark, and this is also reflected in the set design. There isn't a lot happening on stage. There are just these panels that are moving and at the time kind of outskirts of palaces that they are in. And all of this allows for these really gruesome feelings to grow and expand and take over the stage as the characters get more emotionally invested, and in Othello's case even more vicious, all up until the moment when he commits a really big crime. I don't want to spoil the plot in case you're not familiar with Othello, but you are warned that there are quite a few deaths in this show, and it does end on a very gory note. So it is typical tragedy by Shakespeare, and if you are interested in seeing a classic performed by really good actors and some really interesting staging and the way that these characters have been delivered, I think it's definitely worth seeing this show. It is on until mid-January at the Theatre Royal Haymarket, and you can get tickets for as low as £25. So with this stellar cast, I think this is definitely a show not to be missed. This concludes the list of the shows that I have seen in November. Paddington is definitely my highlight, not only of November, but of the whole year. So if you're looking for a show to check out, I would say that that is the one that is a must-see. I'm currently on 56 shows for this year, which I'm really happy about. But I still have a few more booked in December, which I'm really excited about. And if you're interested in hearing what other shows that are yet to premiere before the end of the year, then check out this video where I'm talking about 5 that I'm definitely going to see.